This is a tutorial for the Receptacle module, which is a part of a bigger app called Electrical Calculator. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is create a job. That's so that all the receptacles that we do will actually be under a job and be saved. Although there is, you'll see by default there's a default job, but I've also created two other jobs here. You can easily create a job just by hitting the plus button. So let's go plus, and let's type in Timber Creek. And we'll select that job with the arrow, which it's already selected, and then we'll back out. And now we'll go ahead and get started by going into the Receptacle module. So right away you'll notice that our job is up top in the title bar here. That applies to all modules. This should show you what job you're working under. And within this job we can calculate any number of receptacles we want just by going into our receptacle list. And we do that by clicking on the receptacle icon or the heading here. And your receptacle list will pop up. And the same as a job list, you can create new receptacles with the plus button. You can delete them with a trash can. And you can select them with the arrow. So let's go ahead and rename this one to, let's call it Kitchen Toaster. Close our keyboard off and make sure it's selected and back out. And now you'll see that the Kitchen Toaster is the receptacle we're working on under the job Timber Creek. So let's go ahead and take a look at this module and how it works. So the module is broken into two sections. The first section is the specifications of the receptacle, these 4 spinners or drop-down boxes. And the second section is the actual diagram of the pictures along with their corresponding NEMA codes of the receptacles. And this also includes these navigation arrows, which allow you to navigate through the different diagrams. So let's go ahead and start. So the first thing you're going to want to do is select whether your receptacle is non-locking, straight blade style, or a locking, like a twist lock. You can do that by clicking there, and we're going to select a locking receptacle for our toaster. The second thing you're going to want to do is pick the number of poles it has. So we'll call this one a 3-pole 4-wire. And you'll notice as we're selecting these, the receptacle diagram is changing to match our specs. Now we're going to go ahead and choose our voltage. Well, let's say we have a 3-phase toaster. I'm not sure if that actually exists, but just for the for this tutorial. So we'll pick 3-phase 250. Now you see we have a 3-phase receptacle at the ground. And then last but not least, you pick your amperage. So let's call it a 30 amp. And now you have all your 4 specs in, and your appropriate receptacle is in the top part of your diagram along with its appropriate NEMA code. And now at this point you're good to go, but you can navigate through these diagrams as well. So if you wanted to see the next image in the diagram, which is just the 50 amp version of this, you could click the right arrow, and this next diagram, which is already shown down here, will go into the main and will change accordingly up here in your specs. So let's just go ahead and go back with the left button. That brings us back to the receptacle we had. And then your other navigation goes page at a time. So it'll skip all 5 of the receptacles that are shown here and go to the next 5. This is just handy for if you're navigating through the diagrams quickly, trying to get to a diagram that matches something that you might be looking at. Okay, so our calculation is done. So now that we're done, what we can do with our results is quite a few things. So we go up to our menu here and click on it, and your menu will pop up. And we'll just go through these one at a time. The first option, email, is going to open your email browser, and it's going to have the selected receptacle only. So the one that's right now our kitchen receptacle for Timber Creek, and it's going to be all written up in that email. So you'll be able to send that off to someone in the field, or if you're in the field, send it back to the office, or send it to the supplier to order it. Whatever you want. Our next option, email as CSV. This is emailing as a spreadsheet file, but it's not just emailing a single receptacle, it's emailing all the receptacles under that particular job. So all the Timber Creek, in this case, all the Timber Creek receptacles will be put into a comma separated value file, and that you can email off, and once someone has that file, they can open it in any spreadsheet, and we'll be able to edit it and view it, of course. Help will bring up our PDF manual, online manual, so you'll be able to look at an actual written manual, user manual for this module. Print will allow you to print out the selected receptacle to your printer. This isn't going to work on everybody's phone. This is only going to work if you have a phone that supports printing, and a lot of the time you will need a compatible printer or compatible software. So in my scenario, I'm using a Sony Xperia. I have an Epson printer, and I had to install some Epson printer app on my phone, and then everything worked fine. If nothing else, this is going to allow you to print to a PDF if you don't have any supported printer. Next in our list is Recalculate. This is more for our other modules, but what it does is it just it runs through the calculation again and kind of refreshes everything. In this scenario, you'll rarely have to use it, but in a lot of the other modules in this app, you will need to use the Recalculate. Reset, used with care. What that does is it will reset the selected calculation, in this case receptacle, to all its default values. So all your selections will be reset to default. Video tutorial will bring you to this video that you're watching right now via YouTube. And of course, cancel will cancel you out of this menu. So that's about it for the receptacle calculator. I hope you enjoy it, and it saves you lots of time on the job, and you find it helpful. Thanks for watching.